Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we caught up with coal miners in Pike County who are protesting after going weeks without pay they have earned. Meanwhile, recently laid off miners in Perry County had an opportunity yesterday to try and find a new way forward. Plus, we take you to Leslie County, where the community is showing their support for an officer who was shot in the hand this past weekend.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 6:34 on January 14th. I'm Madison Program, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning. If you're just waking up and grabbing your coffee, if you don't hear it outside, and here in Hazard it's at least raining, we can hear it on the roof. Let's go to Brandon Robinson. Brandon, you say it's about to make its way through, though.
It's kind of actually started to work its way out of Perry County in the last few minutes, and we're going to continue to see it over in the eastern counties. Let's take a look. Live pinpoint Doppler radar. Pike County over into southwest Virginia, parts of Harlan and Bell counties, Claiborne and Campbell counties, and then over into Lee and Wise is the heaviest concentrations now, Dickinson too. So we're going to continue to see that. We're also going to continue to see visibility issues. Dense fog is forming. Heavy rain at some places is causing low visibility, so just be careful. Temperatures climbing in the 50s for most of the region, except for Hazard, Moorhead, and Ashland, all in the mid to upper 40s right now. Your day planner today, 64 your forecast high. Temperatures will stay stable for a little bit. I think we see those chances start to diminish as we head into the afternoon hours. And again, we'll get a brief break till tonight when it kicks back up again, heading into the overnight hours. We'll talk about their extended forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Madison?
Thank you, Brandon. Well, in Pike County, multiple miners and their families are standing at a set of train tracks in an all too familiar sight to many in eastern Kentucky. The reason is strikingly similar to the Black Jewel saga we covered for months. Miners without pay. But this time the company is not bankrupt. Our Connor James was there and explains what is happening.
Yeah, for nearly a month, miners for Quest Energy here in Pike County say they've gone without pay. The phrase they're using the most is empty promises, and they say there's been a series of them. That's the reason they took to these tracks in Pike County to block a train car holding coal.
Real deal, son.
Gathered around a fire.
I can't believe it had to come to this.
There's an eerily familiar feel in Pike County as miners of Quest Energy stand along a set of train tracks.
I'd say after tonight, even if we do get to go back to work, I ain't going to be able to because I'm out here. But
Dusty Maynard is a miner for Quest Energy, a subsidiary of American Resources. He says the company hasn't paid them in nearly a month.
It's around anywhere from $2,400 to $3,000, and some of these men, they owe more than that.
That's another miner for Quest who didn't want to go on camera in hopes that he will be able to continue working in the mines.
It ain't been nothing but empty promises, and you know, we're just tired of it.
Donations arrived within hours, people bringing pizza, water, and firewood.
We knowed if we didn't do something to catch these co-operators' attention that we wouldn't get paid because all they do is give us empty promises.
American Resources, the parent company, acknowledges that they have not paid their workers, but they said those claims of empty promises are false. Part of that statement reads, quote, "They have been paid since the 16th, so we're not sure where that number is coming from. We do not work men 17 hours as stated. We work a very normal mining schedule." End quote. These miners tell us that is not the case and that hours have been irregular.
I'm just dumbfounded, I guess, you know.
Now, a quick search of American Resources reveals that their stocks have dropped significantly, dropping 95% since February of last year. But unlike Black Jewel, they have not filed for bankruptcy or bankruptcy protection. In Pike County, I'm Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
We want to note that unlike with Black Jewel, then having their paychecks clawed back from them, these have not been paid at all for the time they have worked. However, despite those key differences between the two situations, the message is the same. They will stay until they get paid. And this all comes during an interesting development in the Black Jewel saga. Lawyers for that coal company are accusing its former CEO of fraud. Miners took to the tracks in Harlan County last summer for weeks of protest. They were fighting for pay they had already earned. Now Black Jewel's lawyers say former CEO Jeff Hoops took millions of dollars for personal gain. Hoops has declined to comment on the accusation. And some of you may remember that Perry County Coal, also owned by American Resources, laid off dozens of workers last month without warning. Some of those workers also say they are missing paychecks. While state and local officials look into what happened there, the laid-off miners had a chance to look for a new job on Monday. The Kentucky Career Center job site hosted a career fair, and Trish Adams with EKSEP says a lot of opportunities are available.
East Kentucky Advanced Manufacturing is very popular, and the wages are comparable to the coal mining wage. Also, we have Galen College of Nursing here, as well as Hazard Community and Technical College, and they're featuring the lineman training.
Now, if you missed yesterday's job fair, you can go to eksep.org to find the nearest Kentucky Career Center to you. And we learned more about the shooting in Leslie County that sent Deputy Shane Wilson to the hospital and 3 men to jail. Wilson is back home and recovering, but it leaves the Sheriff's Department in a tight spot. WYMT's Emily Bennett spoke with the Sheriff Billy Collette about the chaos of Saturday morning and the support Leslie County has received.
What started as burglary and arson quickly turned into a firefight as Deputy Shane Wilson was shot after stopping this truck the 3 accused burglars were in.
Just get to him as quick as possible, make sure he's safe, and get him wherever he needs to be.
That is Sheriff Billy Collette talking about the chaos of Saturday morning.
Number one, we had a guy in the woods and we didn't know where he was. We had 2 individuals that needed medical treatment. We had to assess the scene and make sure everything was safe for everyone else to arrive to do their jobs.
3 suspects, Joseph Lawson, William Mosley, and Tyler France. Mosley was shot and transported to the hospital, while Lawson was arrested and France ran from the scene, caught not long after.
The outpouring from the community has been amazing. It truly has.
Wilson was airlifted to UK Medical Center after a gunshot went through his hand.
He's been really good. He's upbeat throughout the whole thing so far.
Not letting the injury dampen his spirits.
Joking, cutting up, he was Shane.
The department is in a tight spot with a man down, but the outpouring of love has helped them through.
I mean, it makes it worth everything you do.
Hoping to have the man they describe as the most amazing individual back in uniform soon.
Now, that was Emily Bennett. Now, Mosley is charged with assault in the first degree, wanton endangerment, and receiving stolen property. Lawson was charged with receiving stolen property worth $10,000 or more. And Tyler France is not facing charges related to the shooting. And after Wilson was treated for his injuries, he was welcomed home Sunday with a police escort. Wilson was also a student resource officer at Mountain View Elementary, and this school year was his first in that position. Students and staff say the halls feel empty without him and that they miss him.
Yes, we do. He is very much missed. He was a huge part of our school throughout the hallways, in the classrooms, and also in the office.
To show their appreciation for Deputy Wilson, Principal Gay is asking the community and students to wear black and blue tomorrow. They will also spend the day making cards for Wilson when he returns. Well, the Whitley County Sheriff's Office says it needs your help finding a suspected thief. Deputies say this man was caught on security cameras breaking into multiple cars around 5th Street, Gordon Hill, and Old Barton School Road. They say he managed to steal a gun, and if you know who this man is, call police. And in Estill County, one man is accused of beating his mother and holding her hostage. Deputies say someone called 911 and hung up. The dispatcher called back and Stephen Deaton answered. Police say he was upset and his mother was screaming for help. Deputies went to the home and the woman begged an officer not to leave. Police say she had bruises on her face and hands. Deaton is facing several charges, including abuse and unlawful imprisonment.
Forecast this morning, not looking too bad in some areas. Still seeing some heavy downpours of rain moving across the border into Virginia and Tennessee now for the most part. Middlesboro still getting a pretty good little shower. Just down to the south there in Williamsburg, seeing some pretty good rain. Pikeville seeing a good little shower. Let's go to Pikeville Medical Center camera. There we go. Overlooking Pikeville. A lot of folks on the roads this morning. Just be careful, slow it down, because we are going to continue to see again some of that rain in those eastern counties. Let's go back to temperatures, actually visibility first, and you'll see that a lot of the areas seeing limited visibility across the region this morning. So take it slow, take it easy. Temperatures, though, not too bad. 50s for most of us this morning. 49 Hazard, 48 Moorhead, and 45 Ashland. That's the only holdouts. Your out the door forecast this morning. 64 today, if we make it there with the cloud cover, but the warm air still surging in. I think we'll be pretty close on that. And then again, maybe a brief break in the action this afternoon going into this evening before those rain chances return overnight. Madison.
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. Here's a look at what's ahead. We have more information on the 6 horses that survived a shooting that killed most of their herd in Floyd County last month.